Hi, my name's Lee. Welcome to my camp kitchen. Today we're going to be making delicious currywurst, but the recipe actually is the curry ketchup. When I met my husband years ago, he introduced me to this curry ketchup. It's hard to find in Australia. His mum sends it to us occasionally, but actually we started making our own years ago and we prefer it. Fabulous on eggs. It is spectacular with mayonnaise. Let's get cooking. So this is super easy. Just put a little saucepan on the stove over a medium heat, and then into that saucepan goes 2 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon of oil, and 1 cup of tomato sauce or tomato ketchup, but just your regular tomato sauce. And we just want to give it a little stir. And the reason for heating it up is so that all the other ingredients dissolve easily into the sauce. But I make this before I go camping. And then I just take it with me. And it's such a wonderful condiment on lots and lots of things. So I just whisk it until it's all combined. And I wait till it comes to the boil. And when it comes to the boil, it doesn't take long. Just a couple of minutes. I turn it down to low and I add my other ingredients. First of all, I add 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can use honey instead. 1 tablespoon of your favourite curry powder. 1 teaspoon of chili powder. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. 2 teaspoons of paprika powder. I'm just using sweet paprika, but if you like a smoky flavour, you can use smoked paprika. 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. Just a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And I turn the heat off now and I give that a little stir and I wait for it to cool down, and that's the curry ketchup done. Now for the currywurst. Currywurst is Germany's fast food. It's also our fast food. I begin by peeling some potatoes. I'm using 4 large potatoes for the 2 of us. Then I cut them into chip-sized pieces. I place all the raw chips into a saucepan and then cover them with cold water and a pinch of salt. I put the saucepan on the stove over a high heat and bring it to the boil. Then I boil the potatoes rapidly for about 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes is up, I drain them and spread them on a clean tea towel to dry. There should not be much resistance from a knife or fork when inserted into the potato. Once dried, mine took only 15 minutes outside. I sprinkle them with a little salt. You can dry them out as long as you want, they won't discolour, and actually the longer you dry them, the more crispier they'll be. I put a fry pan on the stove and I heat it for a few minutes, then add about 1/2 inch of oil. I'm using rice bran oil because it has a high smoke point and is perfect for frying chips. I add all of the potatoes and I give the pan a gentle shake. I cook them over a moderately high heat, turning them over frequently with a spatula. Now for the sausages. The local store were out of bratwurst sausages, which is actually the traditional sausage for currywurst. However, I'm using Kranskis and knackwurst sausages, which are both German sausages and they're delicious. These are smoked and partly cooked, so they won't take long to finish off. I put shallow slits in the knackwurst sausages so I know which is which after they're cooked. I heat a fry pan up and then add a little oil and the sausages. I cook them over a moderate heat, turning them over frequently to brown them evenly. I frequently turn the potato chips using a spatula so that most of them get some colour. The sausages only took about 8 minutes and the chips a little longer, about 10 to 15 minutes. Once cooked, I lay the sausages on a clean chuck, then I do the same for the chips. Plating up time. Half the chips in one bowl for Mike and the other half for me. I slice the knackwurst and pile them into the bowls, and then I slice the kranskis and put them into the bowls as well. Next, I put a generous amount of curry ketchup and then an even more generous amount of mayonnaise. The final touch is a light sprinkling of curry powder. No. Delicious. And this is another way I love using curry ketchup. I just can't do liver. I've never liked it, but I love liverwurst. I can't even taste liver in the liverwurst. It is just a really delicious savoury spread. I'm using pork liverwurst. So I toast some bread and then just a little butter and then a thick layer of liverwurst. Next I sprinkle some finely sliced red onion and then a few drops of the curry ketchup. This was my lunch for the past 4 days. I finished off the entire jar by myself. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.